everything straight, the curve that sets everything straight, Jeffrey Purtee.
January 2nd, 1987. My wife Tamara and I pull into Reno, Nevada. I'm a new graduate of Pfeiffer University in Charlotte, North Carolina. 10 days earlier, we had embarked on a cross-country journey in the middle of winter to come west and live the American dream. We had no contacts, no prospects, no money. We needed jobs. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and anybody who's ever really needed a job. As a freshly minted accounting graduate with a solid transcript and resume, I expected to be a pretty hot prospect for any firm in town. Tamara and I began our search. Within 1 week, Tamara comes home to me. Jeffrey, I'm cocktail waitressing at the Nevada Club Casino, salary plus tips. To my surprise, things weren't going quite so fast for me. I had interview after interview. Kafori Armstrong Accounting, the Reno Controller Society, the state of Nevada, the MGM Grand. They go great. I'm getting plenty of job interviews. I'm just not getting any job offers. Tamara and I are out celebrating another great week of waitressing tips. She looks at me. Jeffrey, aren't you enjoying yourself? Well, of course, Tamara. I'm so proud of you. Then Jeffrey, why don't you notify your face? My friends, it is time for a game of show and tell. This won't be pretty. If you have small children in the room, you may want to shield their eyes. I'm going to completely relax my face. Okay, Louise, there's no reason to start crying. And Bill, there's also no need for any comments in the vein of, Jeffrey, you've got a face that's just made for radio. I have a face that, when I completely relaxed, looks like, well, it looks like I'm planning my next criminal rampage. I begin to change my interviews. Now, you know how interviews go. You get silly questions like, Jeffrey, what's your greatest weakness as an employee? You respond with a weakness that's really a strength. Well, Mr. Employer, I'm trying to impress. I confess I sometimes become impatient with people who don't work as hard as I do. Now, I start smiling during the interviews. What a great question. You know, I struggle with the work-life balance. I so enjoy my job, I spend too much time at the office. Same questions, same responses. Now, I'm smiling. Can you guess the difference? Job interviews become job offers, including the offer I accepted to work at the company now known as NV Energy. Soon after starting my new job, I was rereading Dale Carnegie's classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Words I had read before about a smile finally strike home with me. It costs nothing and creates much. It enriches those who receive without impoverishing those who give. It happens in a flash, and sometimes the memory of it lasts forever. I begin to notice changes everywhere. April 25th, 2004, 4:35 p.m. The sweet spring smell of sagebrush fills the air as I'm cruising south of Alturas in remote northeastern California. I'm enjoying the freedom of the wide open road, driving 92 miles per hour in a 65 zone. That freedom is presently curtailed when my rear view mirror fills with flashing red lights. I give the officer my biggest, friendliest smile. Hello, officer. Lovely day, isn't it? License and registration. He goes back to his cruiser, takes a while, comes back. I am done for. Mr. Purtee, I'm going to have to give you a ticket for driving 75. I'll take 10 over the speed limit versus 27 over plus reckless driving any day. Never was my ability to smile so challenged as when, after 3 decades together, I lost my dear wife Tamara suddenly after a short illness. It was weeks before I could force a smile. When I did, however, I began to discover a smile's healing power. I began to appreciate the special times Tamara and I shared. I started to treasure the 30 years we spent together. A smile reminded me that we honor our dear departed not by how we grieve, but by how we live. I'm blessed to have found love a second time. Elizabeth and I met in early 2012. We soon began dating, and I'm happy to announce we recently celebrated our 1st year anniversary. Not long after I proposed, we're out celebrating our engagement. I asked her, Elizabeth, what do you remember about our first meeting? Jeffrey, you had a nice smile. My friends, we never know what turns life may take. For all we know, you may have recently smiled at somebody destined to be your future spouse. It's 27 years since I discovered the change I needed to make to turn job interviews into job offers. Like many of you, my life has been a mixture of times good, times bad, times tragic. Through it all, it has been my experience, there is scarcely any event in this life that has not improved